I'm live. Hey, YouTube, good morning. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead 14, 15 minutes about somewhere in that legendary area. There, we got that set. It's getting live and ready to go here so the radio stations can get in and be ready to go. That's good to go. What else? That's good to go. This is good to go. Waylon Turnus is ready to go. You're missing out on the Slope County Fair, Waylon. I didn't take any of the photos last night either. Shoot. Dave, good morning. Hope everything's going well in Minnesota. Morning, Karen. Morning. Thought for sure I had. I took 0 photos last night. Shoot. Oh, well. You'll have days like that, I guess. Had the Bikini Barrel Race last night. We had the Ranch Rodeo, Ranch Bronx, Saddle Bronc, all that good stuff. So it was a long night. Foggy man, Dan. Are you sure it's fog or is it smoke? Like we still have smoke down here. It's pretty hazy out today. Getting tired of that. Come on, Canada. Fight some fire, man. Let's call up the Flath. I think I can see if I remember his number. I used to remember so many numbers. Nope, that's not right. I'll get it here. Let's see if that is. Let's see here. Morning, Scott Bulgy. Levi. Fog every morning.
Yeah, we're coming to you from the ocean of Lake Kakawea.
Saltwater fishing, are you?
Oh, I ain't kidding you. We got deadliest catch type waves out here this morning when it was only supposed to blow like 5 to 8 mile an hour. Oh, Kevin Lawrence or whichever meteorologist predicted that needs to get off the bottle because it is wavy out here.
Well, it's just telling you need to get a bigger boat.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just tell your father-in-law, tell him, hey, come on, let's get after this.
Yeah. She ran good this morning coming over until all of a sudden we got about 2/3 across the lake and the waves showed up. I had to slow down. Started getting wet.
Catching anything yet?
No, just had lines in the water here for about 10 minutes. And the trolling motor is struggling with the wave size, so I put the old kicker and have it idling and helping along a little bit and seem to settle things down a little bit, but we're still when the prop of the trolling motor comes out of the water every few minutes, that doesn't bode well on keeping a good line.
Waylon Turner says he can make it happen if you want a bigger boat.
Oh yeah, I know he can. He should just give me that one that he bought this spring.
He buy one?
Yeah, he got himself a boat from his work there and sent me some pictures. I think I actually looked at the one that he bought that was in the building. And anytime you put fiberglass on the water over aluminum, even if it's the exact same size boat, you're going to have a little bit better ride just because of the weight. But I want to say his is a 19.5. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but
he'll message me.
I'm sure.
Holy cow. My voice is shot from last night.
A lot of auctioning or announcing or both?
Auctioned off the Bikini Barrel Racers.
Oh, okay.
Auctioned off the top 8 teams for the Ranch Rodeo, and then I had to announce everything.
Oh, you guys had a ranch rodeo this year. Okay.
Ranch, second year doing Ranch Rodeo, we had Ranch Broncs. We had 9 Ranch Bronc riders and 5 Saddle Bronc riders.
Okay. Oh, no. I wonder if I remember to send Nellie my brand money for the.
Nope, you didn't.
God dang it. Just popped in my head. Am I on there?
Well, the Western Frontier was one of the sponsors of the Ranch Rodeo.
Is my brand on the book, though?
We don't get the books till Sunday.
All right. Well, let me know if it's on there. I just remembered that. I totally spaced that out. She called me about 3 weeks ago.
Ooh.
So, shoot.
So Waylon got a Triton, huh?
Triton, yep. Triton Allure or Azure or something like that, but I just don't remember the size.
Fancy red and white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice boat.
Wait a minute, what's that? Oh, it's a softball or baseball duffel bag. Look at there. Good deal. It's a 206 Allure.
206, yeah, 20 and a half. Okay. Yeah, that's a good size.
All right, hold on. Station 7 o'clock on the nose on mark. 7 o'clock. Yeah.
That 19 to 21 foot fiberglass on this lake, you can pretty much go on however rough a water you feel like you want to with that size of boat. Just handles the weather so much better, and there's some weight there, you know, so them waves don't rock you so darn hard when they hit you.
Morning, Jim. I'll tell you this. The seats, like I said, in that freaking Lund of Brent Chemnitz.
Yeah, they got those hydraulic seats.
I don't know if a hydraulic or air or what, but
yeah,
they were they were comfortable. You know, they just they hugged you, and it was just smooth, man. I mean, of course, the water was pretty smooth, but he says he's had a few windy days out there, and he says that it's just the benefit of getting those seats is well worth it.
Yeah.
He said he got up to 62 mile an hour last weekend out of his boat.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I think he's got a 300. Maybe it's a 350. I don't remember. We've had a fair number of new boats come through the office this spring. Oh boy, we're changing direction here now. Let's see how this goes.
What do you mean come through the office?
New boats being insured by clients.
Oh, I got you.
And
everybody's buying a boat, huh?
I insured my first 400 horse outboard this year.
Whalen's is,
and I've got
250 Pro XS is what he said.
Oh, it is a 250 Pro XS. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, nice. Oh, we just marked had a nice huge mark. 27 foot in 32 foot of water. So, see if we bend the pole in half here in a second. I may have to throw the phone down.
Throw the phone down. Just hand the rod over.
Oh, I'm grabbing the neck.
Oh, the neck. Just pull him in the boat.
That's all we're catching today is trophy fish. We're trophy fish hunting.
Like deer, what's a trophy to you?
In the boat. This time of year and the depths that we're having to fish, if we can catch anything today, I'll be happy.
We're biting on wahi. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. The first place we went was a little slow, but the second place was just, I mean, it was less than an hour.
That's what we're hoping for today. We're hoping to maybe catch one fish during the live show here, and then we're going to go south, and we're going to limit out in 28 minutes.
28. Eric from Piers in Sturgis at the drag strip down there. Nice.
Oh.
Listening down that way.
I suppose they're getting the tail end of the rally has still got some people coming through, and
I don't know. I think that's pretty much done, isn't it?
Oh, well, then was last weekend the last of it?
I think it was 2 weekends ago.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's long gone, my man. Now it's just locals. Holy cow. Is it foggy up there?
Yeah, it was. There's still a little bit of fog on the water. Howard said the fog was real thick in some spots coming up from Hazen along by Harmony Lake there where there's water along the road. He said it was thick. But yeah, I got a couple good snapshots. There was right in Hazen Bay when we put the boat in. There was a lot of fog hanging 6-8 feet off the top of the water. It looked pretty cool.
We got smoke out here this morning.
Oh, really?
Oh, Cool Deadwood Nights is this weekend. That's why there's Drake.
Oh, okay.
Going on. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired of smoke. Canada's got to get their poop in a group, man.
You know, it was interesting. At the base annual meeting, they put up some graphics. They had it all the way back to, I don't know, 75 years ago. Right now, there's less percentage of the world on fire annually than there has been in a long, long time.
Must be climate change.
Yeah, less fire. I don't know. It was interesting.
They're going to say it's less habitat. Well, that's because you let it burn up.
Pieces and all kinds of factors.
All right, 60 seconds coming up.
All right. I'm going to try to stay behind the windshield here to keep the wind noise down, too.
Yeah.
Much as I can.
Sounds good. One thing that I recognize Brent did not use.
Yeah.
Contour following.
Oh, I know. Most guys don't.
Oh, okay.
Most guys aren't as lazy as I am. I'm not going to sit there and steer the damn boat all day. Especially not when it's this windy and wavy.
All right, stand by. Going quiet here. Station's about 30 seconds, less than 30. Good morning and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along across the Dakota Territory and around the world too on YouTube channel. Appreciate that. On great stations like KGFX out of Pierce, South Dakota, KOLY, Mobridge, K-Fire, 550, Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB, 910 up in Minot, and of course the Western Edge, KLTC, 1460 in Dickinson. Good to have you along. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Good to be with you this morning. Coming off of a week here, was fishing on Tuesday in Mobridge with Mr. Brent Chemnitz, and we'll talk about that. Jesse Flath is up on Lake Sakakawea right now in the boat catching fish.
Well, we're fishing.
You're fishing.
We don't have anything in the boat yet.
You're not catching.
Not yet.
Well, we'll hopefully get that on air.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
All right. So you had a nice little talk about antelope tags with Jeb Williams from the North Dakota Game and Fish. And the reason I want to talk about this a little bit is because that season's opening up here. September 1st is the archery season already. South Dakota's already going with their archery season right now. But North Dakota had a lot of drop in the tag numbers. I mean, what was there? 400 and some odd tags, and only 100 and some of them were available for drawing. Right? If you take all the gratis tags out of there.
Yeah, those numbers it's not exact. The press release that they sent out showed the total number of tags, 436. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since I looked at it, so I'm going off of my poor memory here. But
yeah.
And then it showed 280 some gratis applications. So yeah, that left the draw tag somewhere in the mid 100s, 175-ish. However, that kind of sparked a conversation between you and I of how the gratis tag system for antelope works. If it's like deer, where you put in for a gratis, you get it, or if it's like elk, where even the gratis tag draw for elk is a lottery for the landowners,
right,
or if it was somewhere in between. And
let's clarify that the elk gratis, it's a lottery for some landowners. There are some areas that the landowner gets it every year, just not in my neck of the woods.
Is that because there's just not as many applicants, or?
I'm not sure why it's done that way, but I know that there's
more tags, maybe.
Yeah, just whatever reason they have, but I know there's some that get drawn every single year off of it in certain areas, and then there's the rest go into lottery style.
And so maybe the elk is also ran somewhat like I found out the antelope is. We sent a text message out to Game and Fish Director Jeb Williams, and he was nice enough to give me a call and spend some time kind of trying to explain to me how it works. I think I got it figured out. So the reason that the number of applications of gratis tags isn't just a direct number away from that total number of tags is because it's by unit. So the first 50 tags of gratis in a unit, there's 50 tags put out. And then there can be an additional 25 tags put out, but those are a 1-for-1. One tag to gratis, one tag to the draw. So in order for 75 tags in a unit to be put out to gratis, there would have to be at least 100 tags total available.
Okay.
So and from what Jeb told me is a lot of units that typically happens. The Game and Fish never wanted the antelope units to be a landowner unit. So I think that's probably why, up here in Hazen, there's some people a little bit upset because we've got a few decent sized herds of antelope running around up here right now. But if the available tags drops low enough to where it's definitely at 50 or under to where it's going to be a landowner only unit, then they close that unit because they do not want that. If there's not going to be tags available to the public, then that unit closes. So that's possibly part of the reason some of these northern units, like up around in Mercer County, they closed those units again. They were closed for many years, as was basically the whole state. And just a couple, 2-3 years ago, they opened them back up, and now this year they're closed again. So it sounds complicated, but after he explained it to me and I actually wrote it down on paper, it makes some sense.
Yeah. Well, it makes a lot of sense, and it's explained that way so a person can understand. So,
right.
Like you were talking, you have like nearly 10 preference points saved up and didn't get drawn, which is why you came up with the question. I wonder if it's just as hard to get a pronghorn tag as it is an elk tag. And that is not true. That just depends on if the unit's open or not.
Depends on the unit, depends on the total number of tags. Like right now, even this year with 400 and some odd total tags and the gratis all figured in there, you've still got if I figured it right, a little bit over a 1% chance of drawing an antelope tag in the state with the number of applicants that put in. Where if you're putting in for a bull elk, I believe the number he told me was 0.001% is the draw rate for bull elk. Now, with that said, if you decide, you know what, I just want to shoot an elk, and I'm going to put in for a cow elk, it's around 45% chance of draw. It's about a 50-50 draw to get a cow elk tag.
Yeah.
The downfall of that in North Dakota is it's a once-in-a-lifetime tag. You draw that cow elk, you're still done. You'll never get a chance at drawing the bull tag in North Dakota. So it all depends on what you want to do. If you just want to shoot a North Dakota elk, put in for that cow. It won't take you too many years, most likely, to draw that tag, depending on the unit, of course.
Yeah. I'm looking at pronghorn season in my unit right here. There were 70 tags total availability, and 70 were available. 42 of those were deducted because of gratis tags. Now I'm looking at that unit. Now, my unit's a pretty good sized unit here, and it surprises me that only 42 landowners would have put in for that. It's surprising me because you'd think there'd be more, but then it is mostly Slope County. That's probably the whole population of Slope County is 42.
Well, and there's a perfect example. So you had 8 more landowners. If they would have put in for an antelope gratis, they would have gotten it.
Correct.
Because the first 50 that put in get it. So there was 8 more landowners that basically would have been guaranteed a tag if they wanted one. However, it didn't happen, so those extra tags went into the draw. So with 70, So 50, 60, 70, that's 20. So realistically, if enough people would have put in for gratis, there would have only been 10 draw tags available in your unit.
Right.
If enough people would have put in.
And there's one unit here on this spreadsheet I'm looking at. Not a single gratis deduction was put in there. Not a single gratis tag was even applied for.
And that was the other thing that Jeb and I talked about is people just don't, especially those that live with them around all the time, people don't get jacked up about antelope like they do about deer.
No.
It's just they don't want nothing to do with them. They're stinky goats, according to a lot of people. And I understand that, because if you run them 100 mile an hour down a fence line for 2 hours to try to catch them before you shoot them, they're going to stink.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of landowners that they just don't care about antelope. That, you know, back in the day when I was still living back home in Bowman, we had antelope everywhere. And you went and asked a landowner to hunt antelope, they laughed and said, under one condition, if you shoot 10, because they were everywhere and they were wrecking fence, and the landowners just don't care about antelope in some areas.
Well, we got some comments coming in from some of the things that we've been discussing, but we'll catch that on the other side of the break. So, Jesse, hang tight with me. Hang tight, and the boat evidently got some white caps. Fish on. There you go. We'll catch it here. You got 5 minutes. We'll be back here with Dakota Prairie Outdoors, talking with Jesse Flath, talking speed goats, elk hunting. Everything's opening up here very, very shortly, and some of it already has. We'll be back after these messages.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th, is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original Protester panel. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
East Greets West, an annual fundraiser for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, scheduled for October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club. This fun event begins with a social at 5, followed by a delicious dinner, and a very lively auction takes place following the night's keynote speaker, Jeff Gould, telling America's story. Uplifting, touching, and profound, it's a presentation that inspires listeners to consider the sacrifice and blessing of our nation's history. Tickets for this event available at northdakotakowboy.org. East Greets West, October 20th at the Valley City Eagles Club.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th, is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota.
For more information and to find an auction near you, go to pifers.com.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
East Greets West, an annual fundraiser for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, scheduled for October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club. This fun event begins with a social at 5, followed by a delicious dinner, and a very lively auction takes place following the night's keynote speaker, Jeff Gould, telling America's story. Uplifting, touching, and profound, it's a presentation that inspires listeners to consider the sacrifice and blessing of our nation's history. Tickets for this event available at northdakotakowboy.org. East Greets West, October 20th at the Valley City Eagles Club.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Nearly 2 decades long. There we go. Jesse Flath is up on Lake Sakakawea. When we left you here over the break, you said fish on. What'd you catch?
About a 14.5-inch smallmouth.
There you go. Put it in the live well and feed the family right there.
Hey, they're not bad eating.
They ain't good either. So there you go.
Well, according to some people, there isn't such thing as a good fish.
I hear you. Brent Chemnitz, he was like, you want to keep some catfish? I'm like, I know a guy that loves catfish. So yeah. He said the same thing when he guides people from the southern states. He's like, that's all they want to catch is catfish. Oh, yeah. So the old yellow belly catfish there. All right. So when we in the first portion of the program talking about the pronghorn antelope and numbers and how the tags are determined and how many in this unit. And I was looking there, I'm like, there are a lot of units closed up in the North Dakota side this year. I mean, I would say well over half of the units that were available last year are closed up.
For pronghorn?
For pronghorn antelope, yes. Yeah. Looking at this. Yep. So some of the comments, one comes up, you were discussing that, how the tags are determined and how many, they're based on the population when they do their flyovers. And one person says, that's a joke. We have more antelope now than I've ever seen in our area, and they closed our season up. So there's still some people that are a little bit angry about that. I mean, as can be expected. I mean, remember a few years back, it was about 12 years ago or so, it was closed up statewide for a long time. I think for like 6 years we went with nothing at all.
And I don't know when they fly, but a lot of people don't realize that antelope they're kind of migratory. They really move. They move a long ways.
Especially in the wintertime.
Yes, and I can remember it's been almost 20 years ago now. My chiropractic office over in Beulah, old DJ Erickson, give him a quick plug here, can guarantee that there's a Outdoor Life magazine or some sort of hunting magazine in the waiting room. And I was reading a North Dakota outdoor magazine over there one day, and they had done a study where they collared a number of antelope in North Dakota. And they had half a dozen of those animals went all the way down by Casper and Gillette and back in a season. Now, I would imagine that's a little extreme on the average, but they do and will move a long ways.
Absolutely.
So I don't know when the counts are made, and how that number is determined. But up here in our area right now, there's 2 spots between Hazen and Lake Skakawea where you got to have your head on a swivel. There's a couple pretty good herds of antelope, and they're bouncing back and forth between that county road on both sides going north of town.
That same guy just commented, he says, but yet our deer tag stayed the same, and we lost well over half of our deer population.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't see a lot of deer in our area right now. It's kind of interesting, kind of like that your house. On the ranch, the deer numbers are horrible.
Terrible.
And you go just south of Scranton, and there's deer everywhere down at Johnny P's, so
yep.
It's amazing how short of a distance there can be a huge difference in that population.
Yeah. We were just discussing this last night at Slope County Fair, what people consider neighbors, because there's a few people from different areas last night. And, we consider somebody within 100-mile circle of us neighbors, and they don't travel more than...
There's only 12. There's only 12 people in that circle.
I know, but some people go 2 miles, and that's a long drive for them, So,
yep.
But some of the other comments here, it says, Gene Cox says, sounds like public funds would be used to manage private hunting if it's a gratis tag only, if the public is shut out. But that's what they don't shut out the public. If they'll close the unit down before that makes it gratis only.
Yep. If there's no public tags available at all in that area, that unit gets closed.
Okay. One says our unit was closed also, and wouldn't you know, there's a nice one down there, and I can't go after.
Yeah, that always happens. That always happens.
I'm not seeing any big ones in this area, Jesse. I mean, that 15, 16 inch, that's hard to find.
No, there's one in that group north of Hazen, that main group. I'd put him at 13, 14 inches maybe. I'm a bad judge on antelope, but he doesn't. You don't drive by him and go, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
it's an antelope buck, but he's just an antelope buck.
I'm just holding out for that one that's got one horn up and one straight down or sideways, some goofy looking stuff. That's what I want. I like that.
Yeah,
now,
you see them everywhere.
I don't see them anytime here. So you were discussing a lot of people don't hunt antelope as much as they used to. And Levi comes in, he says, some people, Jesse, some of us are obsessed with speed goats.
Well, yeah, he's obsessed with anything, though. That guy will go on a chupacabra hunt.
So would I. Come on now, that would be fun. The mayor of Mulberg says, I'd rather hunt antelope over deer.
A lot of people think that. Your in-laws are that way.
Yeah. And then Eric down in Pewell, he's in Sturgis today. He says the only good fish is the one that got released.
Well, one just got released because I did not keep that bass.
There you go. So elk season starting around the corner too, Jesse. It's September 1st here in my neck of the woods. And wouldn't you know it, last night while I was announcing the ranch rodeo, now I'm starting to get phone calls. What is it, 1 week away from the start of the season?
You did get a lot of calls early, though, this year.
I did.
More so than normal, which is good.
At branding, I met a guy at branding that already started talking to me about it, so that was nice.
And that's better than the week before. People that wait till the week before to first contact a landowner, good luck getting on. Yeah. I mean, that's just you drew that tag 2 months ago. Got to do some groundwork 3 months ago, whatever. If you are hunting elk and you have not made contact to a landowner yet, all I can say is good luck.
Well, there are areas, I'll give that there's enough public hunting land that's in big enough areas where you'd be able to do that. That's not a problem.
I suppose, yeah.
But somebody was, so I helped with some tips for a magazine in the eastern side of South Dakota. Mm-hmm. And they want me to give some tips every once in a while. And it's somebody I've known from long time over there. And they were like, what are some of the tips that you'd use? And I'm like, contact landowners. Contact the people that have been on that allotment, whether it's BLM or Forest Service property, people that have been fencing it, maybe spraying weeds on it, running cattle on it. They're the ones that are going to let you know where and what they see. Now, not all of them are going to be truthful, right? I mean, you always have some people that are angry because they didn't get a tag and they're like, there's nothing here.
Right.
But for the most part, if you make that connection early and offer maybe to help out once in a while on the farm or ranch or whatever they might need to be doing, I think they're going to be more than helpful, Jesse. I really do.
Well, for me, even if I'm going to hunt that public area, you take that grassy butte area. There is so much public ground up there. The Mattahay Trail goes through there. Campgrounds, a lot of campgrounds that guys utilize. But you still, at some point, are most likely going to have to cross somebody's private land to get to where you want to be. Or you shoot a deer, an elk, whatever it is, and don't make a perfect clean shot, and they run quarter mile, half mile. They might end up on private land.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to hunt a public area, I try, especially if I'm in an area that I haven't been in before, get yourself a map, find out who the surrounding landowners are, give them a call, even if you're not going to hunt on their land. Say, I'm going to be out, I'm going to try to hunt this specific area of public land. What are your rules on your ranch if I need access through your ground, not to hunt it, but through your ground to get where I want to be? And I have that access? Or if I do have a downed animal, am I able to call you for some help just knowing where to go and how to get places? Some landowners, even if you don't hunt their land, will be very cordial about telling you, there's a road through my land in this area that you can certainly use if you need to get back there. You're going to have a landowner tell you, stay off my land. You touch my land and I see you, I'm calling the sheriff. But I still say, make that call, even if it's somebody that doesn't want you on their ground. If you're the guy that tried to make contact with them, it might give you a leg up if you do have a situation out there.
All right, now we're up against a break, but we have laws for that too. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break after this.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a livestock risk protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original Protester panel. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W. The farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
East Greets West, an annual fundraiser for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, scheduled for October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club. This fun event begins with a social at 5, followed by a delicious dinner, and a very lively auction takes place following the night's keynote speaker, Jeff Gould, telling America's story. Uplifting, touching, and profound, it's a presentation that inspires listeners to consider the sacrifice and blessing of our nation's history. Tickets for this event available at northdakotakowboy.org. East Greets West, October 20th at the Valley City Eagles Club.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd.
Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th, is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to pifers.com.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank and Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
East Greets West, an annual fundraiser for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, scheduled for October 20th at the Valley City, North Dakota Eagles Club. This fun event begins with a social at 5, followed by a delicious dinner, and a very lively auction takes place following the night's keynote speaker, Jeff Gould, telling America's story. Uplifting, touching, and profound, it's a presentation that inspires listeners to consider the sacrifice and blessing of our nation's history. Tickets for this event available at northdakotakowboy.org. East Greets West, October 20th at the Valley City Eagles Club.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, getting into the final portion of the show. Don't forget the big gun show coming up here on September 9th and 10th at the Main Street, the Sheer Howe Event Center on Main Street, Mobridge, Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Gun Show, 9th and 10th of September. And I talked to on Tuesday, I was down in Mobridge fishing with Brent Chemnitz. Just absolutely what a beautiful day it was to take off and go do that. But Gene came over when we were cleaning the fish behind Brent's shop there, and he says that every single booth is sold out, Jesse, every single one. So that gun show is ready to go.
Awesome.
Yep, going to be a good time. So check it out September 9th and 10th in Mobridge, South Dakota. Well, you caught yourself a walleye, didn't you?
Yeah, he's little, but we got our first walleye in the boat. So we got 3 species in the boat now. Had that bass to start with. We got about a 12-inch, 13-inch walleye, and Howard just caught a goldeneye skipjack. So
skipjack. There you go.
We officially have 3 species that have came through the boat, so we can say we were not skunked.
You never get skunked if you have a good day on the water. I mean, seriously,
That's
they
true.
say a bad day fishing is better than a good day at the office, is what they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It depends on how much water you're taking over the front of your boat, probably, too.
Yeah, I've had some rough days at the office here this month. We've had a little weather up this way and had some farmsteads get tore up pretty good. Some campers tipped on their side. We had kind of a mess there the first of the month, and things are still getting cleaned up and repaired and replaced from that. So busy month we've had in this area.
Yeah. Eric says, have you guys heard about the 8.6 blackout?
No.
I have not either. I might have to look that up. Anyway, before we went into break, you were talking about going on, if you shoot something on public land, it goes into the private land. Talk to the rancher, landowner, whatever, and see, get permission, do this, that. Now, I don't know about South Dakota's rules, but I know in North Dakota, you can go and retrieve your animal without asking permission or anything. I'm not a big fan of that rule. It's one thing if it's like 50 yards on the other side of a fence line or whatever it may be, but sometimes if and you get in the rough country, like you said, you might have to take a trail to get in there
And now I'm having a little issue because maybe I have cattle in there. Maybe I'm trying to move cattle out of there and you come driving the wrong way on me. Or, I mean, I still think it's a good idea, but there are laws that say you can go retrieve your animal, Jesse. How do you feel? What do you think of that law?
You know, the problem with it is too is a lot of people don't understand that if they don't read that law, you cannot carry a firearm. You are not supposed to drive. It is on foot only. There's a number of things that law has in it that people do not abide by, and that causes contention at times as well. So goes back to what I said earlier. It's as simple as contacting a landowner before you're hunting, to let them know you're going to be in the area, or especially after you have a downed animal. Now, if you got a downed animal and you cannot get a hold of the landowner, okay, I don't want a downed animal not retrieved either.
Yeah.
But make every effort you can. And between all of the apps out there, the base map, the Onyx, even some county plat maps have landowners. You've got Google. You can Google Scott Bachmeyer and find his phone number if you can't find it any other way.
It's true. You can. Yeah.
You know, there's no excuse for not attempting to contact a landowner in today's world.
But a lot of people say that they don't need to. I can go get that deer, elk, whatever. That's part of the law. That's the way it works.
If you want to walk on foot with nothing but your knife in your pocket, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. That's what always worries me too. You can't take your firearm, but what if you need to put one more in it just to take it? You know, I mean, just to kill it and make sure it's dead. You and I both seen that. We thought that one year when you took that shot on that mule deer, when we got up to it, it was down. It wasn't moving, but it was still alive.
Yep. And then that's a whole safety situation. You do not want a mule deer buck or a whitetail buck getting up on you when you're on top of them. An elk, they get up and they got enough life left in them and they feel threatened. You are not going to fare well in that situation.
Yeah. A little bit of a gray area on that whole crossing the private property thing. I think there's better ways of going about it. But
it's you know, and then you take your ranch is a good example. Section lines. There is no such thing on the majority of your family's ranch of a section line having a road. There's a road, but in 5 miles of section line, if that road is on the actual section line, 10% of the time, that's it. So when that road leaves that actual section line, it is private.
Yep.
And you cannot travel that road without permission.
That's right.
You can walk the section line, but that's a little tough when there's 30 and 40 foot cliffs on that section line. You just and that's where a lot, I think, whether it's North or South Dakota, the eastern 2/3 of these two states, the landowners and some of the hunters, they just don't understand the problems or the issues that we complain about because they don't have that out there. It's the roads are in a grid. There's an actual road on every section line, or at least a well-established 2-track. So they don't have those issues out there that the western part of the state does.
I'm going to bring this to you, though. Here's an issue that they deal with that I would never want to deal with.
Okay.
Because there is a road in every section line and everything is in a grid, I've been hearing stories. They said that it is absolutely terrible because there's so many road hunters. And it's just everybody's driving everywhere.
I believe it.
You know, and we have road hunters out here. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's really, really bad in some areas, and so they have something to complain about too.
Yeah, and you see that during pheasant season. You know, all over in all areas. You know, you guys don't have a lot of birds out there. There's a lot more than there used to be as far as pheasants. You've got a lot of grouse on.
I got one pheasant this year, Jesse.
Oh yeah,
there was one in my calving pasture, and he's still hanging out in the calving pasture.
What the heck?
One, but he looks like a grouse.
It's weird how they show up.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't look good.
You get to that New England, Mott, Regent area, all the way down to south of Scranton, and all the way along the North and South Dakota border is a heck of a good corridor for pheasant, and tons of road hunters, tons of ditch. I call them ditch bangers. They never walk more than far enough into the ditch to get the bird that they shot, and it is frustrating. You got guys driving at 5 miles an hour looking for birds while you're coming over the hill with a load of hay or a load of cattle on, because you're moving cattle around. You're trying to get hay home. Whether it's pheasant hunters, antelope hunters, elk hunters, we got a season coming up really quick here, everybody. Please try to keep in mind that there's guys out there still working. They're moving hay, they're moving cattle. They might come over the hill with whether it's a pickup and trailer or a semi or what it is. Even if they're only going 25, 30 mile an hour, they break that hill and you're sitting there in the middle of the road with your eyes in your binoculars and don't see them. There's a real good chance they're not going to get shut down before you have a real quick meet and greet in the middle of the road, and it's not going to be good. So please remember that, folks. Try to pull over to the side of the road if you're going to stop and glass, or don't stop 100 yards off the crest of a hill to do your spotting. It's just very unsafe out there.
Yeah, you never know. There's a lot of big equipment anymore, and especially during harvest season. There's a lot of big equipment going up and down the trails and the roads and what have you. And but yeah, so elk season starts archery season here and regular season, both of them in North Dakota, September 1st. The elk archery season starts in South Dakota on September 1st as well. And every year I see this both in North Dakota and in South Dakota. We always have a crow season, and I don't know anybody who has ever went out and actually go and specifically hunt for crows.
Yeah, me either. I don't know if that's I honestly don't know how many times I can tell you I've actually seen an actual crow. You know, we see some blackbirds, but I honestly don't know for sure what an actual crow looks like. I know they're big. They're a lot bigger. Are they the size of a grouse? I don't even know.
The only thing I can tell you, I've never seen one, but I've eaten crow before.
Every day.
Every day.
When you live in even if you're right, you're wrong.
Hold on, you're cutting out here. Even if what now?
Even if you're right, you're wrong.
That's right. That's a fact here. Well, Slope County Fair is going on, Jesse. It's going on this today and tomorrow. Last night we had, get this, 8th annual bikini barrel race. Longest running bikini barrel race in the upper Midwest. And it paid well. It paid very well. And we do something kind of, I learned this from you guys because I think there's somebody up in your neck of the woods that does a coyote tournament this way, or maybe it's a fishing tournament. But so we paid out 1st, 2nd, and 8th place.
Yeah.
You know, instead of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or we picked different ones because it was our 8th year. So next year we'll pay out on 9th place as well. And just to have fun, something different, right? And it gives everybody a chance. Now, we open this up to anybody over the age of 18, male or female. And we say that in Slope County because we're still know what's right, okay? So there was a guy, I'm not going to say the name. There's a guy that showed up yesterday, Jesse. And he ran the barrels. And his bikini had my face on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about that at all.
I feel good, and there's like 3 or 4 names I could throw out there, and I'll guarantee it's one of them.
Well, I am going to send you the photo, and you got to zoom in. And the best part is, he said his girlfriend or something like that stole a picture off of my Facebook, and the photo that he took or that they had used for this, I don't know if that I must have been when Facebook first started. Because the old one. I still have facial like coloring in my facial hair and my, you know.
So it was a while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah. There's no doubt of that. But I'll send that to you. You get a kick out of that.
All right.
Slope County Fair, the longest contiguous running fair in the nation. And
how many entries did you have this year?
We cap it at 15, and we had 15, but 3 of them backed out because they were scared. Not because of wearing the bikini, just because the talent. Some of these gals, I mean, they're running 15-second barrel patterns, and you got to be getting after it in order to get in on the money, even if we pay 8th place. So yeah.
Well, one of these years I'll have to come down there and I'll have to join in and see if I can find someone with a Shetland pony for me, and
we can make that
get
happen.
my way around the barrel.
I got a text that says, I'm seeing fawns running loose. Hopefully we're not going to find a whole bunch of dead does in the corn. Yeah. So some of these guys are combining right now. That's the thing is the people that are out harvesting, they'll tell you what the population looks like around the area. I mean, if you're going to spook and chase deer out, what better habitat these animals are laying in the canola and the wheat and cornfields right now. And they're definitely seeing them because most of the hay crop has been cut down now. Another text says, I didn't know we had a crow season. Me and the nephews were out hunting them, and it was out of season. We didn't even know there was a season.
Yeah, it's something people don't think about, I guess. And there's a lot of seasons like that. I believe, doesn't North Dakota have a mink season that's separate from the fur bears?
I believe so. I'd have
to and there's a few of those. And South Dakota, I was talking about with somebody about this the other day. They've got seasons inside of seasons. They've got separate areas for deer seasons. The western half opens before or after the eastern half, and special units and special tags, and they got a pretty complicated system down there, but they've got a very vast difference in their landscape, even more so than North Dakota. You've got the Black Hills, you've got what I call the Southern Badlands. You go south of the Kadoka, south of the Wall, Kadoka area, and it's rougher than anything we have by Medora or Watford City.
Yeah,
and then you've got the plains out east by Brookings and Watertown, and they really have a varied landscape in South Dakota and a lot of good hunting opportunities down there for a lot of different things.
Now I was just looking up crow season here. To find it, it's a migratory bird. So that's why they have a season on it.
Oh, I wonder if you have to have, it's not waterfowl. It's a migratory bird, but it's not waterfowl. So it wouldn't have to have a federal federal waterfowl stamp, I suppose, but it does have its separate license.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It runs from August until November 6th. And then there's a spring crow season too, from March to April.
Okay.
So because a lot of these, like coyote season, there's an actual season date, but it's year round.
Right.
Yeah. Gene says Oklahoma has a crow season. I've got that a lifetime license down there. Should the mood it. I didn't know this. So did you know? This is something I should have brought up earlier. He was talking. He's originally from Oklahoma. He says down in Oklahoma, if you're a resident, you can purchase a lifetime license. One time, pay it, done. You still have to get your stamp for waterfowl and still have to put in for the big game licenses, but your general is taken care of for life. Okay. I think that would be a great idea. If I could go to North or South Dakota, if I was a resident of that state and they had a lifetime license and say it cost, I don't know, $1,000, I would rather pay that, and then instead of every April 1st, we're trying to remember to go and get everything. You know what I mean? It's done.
Doesn't South Dakota have a resident lifetime fishing tag, a fishing license you can buy?
Resident lifetime fishing. I'm not sure about that, but I'm talking hunting license.
Yeah, that's a step.
I think that would be a great deal.
I know that once you reach a certain age, the fishing licenses in North Dakota go way down. Like, wasn't your license $6, Howard?
Something like that.
It's pretty cheap. I don't know what the age number is, but I suppose they figure once you're a little older and you're retired, and then you have to go buy a $130,000 fishing boat to keep up with everybody else, keep up with the Joneses type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
They'll let you fish for cheaper.
Yeah. We got Jim from South Dakota says we have road hunters here in South Dakota who think that they can send their dogs out onto private land and flush the birds off of private land into their flightway.
Or retrieve. They'll shoot them from the road out over the fence and then have their dogs go retrieve them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Oh, yeah. There's different ways. Everybody's getting different ideas of trying to do that. That's too bad. Why can't we all just get along, Jesse?
It's kind of a Keith Warren's line of just shut up and hunt, but there still has to be that landowner respect.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people trying to push that out of here, especially big urban guys purchasing a lot of land, Jesse, a lot of land right now. So,
hey, speaking of Keith Warren, are we going to, I haven't done it in a long time. You've been down there since I was, but are we going to try to do a hog hunting trip this year?
Sure. Why not? I like it.
I'm kind of getting the itch. I want to go back to Texas again, I think.
Let's do it. It's cheap too. It's like $17 for a hog license. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, the hunting isn't expensive. It's just the getting there.
Oh, South Dakota's got auto renewal licenses, is what they do.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. I knew there was something down there.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking your time. I do have a couple things I need to talk to you off air about, so stick with that here a little bit. But I mean, we've got to give you a little plug too. Western Frontier Insurance Agency. You said you've been taking care of a lot of boats and a lot of new boats coming in. You've been getting insured. So if people have questions, comments, they want to ask for some quotes, how do they get a hold of you?
Just check us out on the internet there, westernfrontierins.com. And we've got 5 locations in the western half of North Dakota that good people in every office. We can try to help you out.
Are you licensed in South Dakota?
Some of us are, yes. Our Bowman and Hettinger offices both have South Dakota agents. Actually, all but one of our offices. Todd in my Wilton office has a South Dakota license, and I also now have my South Dakota license.
There you go. All right, man. Stay with me. Appreciate your time here. And thank you, everybody, for coming in and joining in on the fun here this morning on Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Eat some meat, drink some milk, have yourself a fine rest of the weekend. See you at the Slope County Fair. All right, YouTube, appreciate it. We're going to end the stream early because I got to get going and get some fencing. So we'll do that. All right, Jesse, you still